I don't know, it's weird. I still feel like a failure at times.
How about best advice you got as a young skier?
I'd say best advice is just to be yourself. Eric Seiler always said that I'm fast the way I am, my old coach in Minnesota, and a lot of coaches tried to change my technique and say that I'm not good enough, or the way you ski isn't ever going to be good. And he just said the reason why you ski that way is that's who you are, that's what your body is, and you can't change it. So I always stuck to my guns and never really changed it. And yes, it got me into trouble. I crashed in a lot of races, but it also won me a lot of races. So in the end, I think Eric was right.
You're 16, 17 years old on the U.S. ski team, and you overhear people in the hallway talking about how she's never going to be anything.
My coaches, I overheard them, and they said that Julie Mancuso is going to be the next best thing, and I wasn't going anywhere, and they should just put all their money on her because she's going to go to the 2002 Olympics and not me.
How did it affect you at the time?
Historically in my life, any person that tells me that I can't do something, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can to prove them wrong. So in a way, I think it motivated me, and I proved them wrong. I was in the Olympics. I had the best U.S. women's results of the whole games.
What did your dad used to tell you about how there are only two places in a race?
Yeah, I mean, you're either first or last. It's like, bottom line. I wasn't making any progress, and that's when I kind of really bought into physical training. I went to Monaco, hired this trainer. I've never been pushed so hard in my entire life. To this day, I don't even think I've been pushed that hard. It was almost like Navy SEALs training. Like it was, waters for wussies, and it's like it was old school. Push yourself to the max, like run until I tell you to stop. I'm surprised I didn't puke because I felt like I was going to puke all the time. But that was kind of, you're constantly in a state of complete exhaustion, and you have to still push yourself beyond that. And
helpful?
I think it definitely toughened me up quite a bit. He'd always call me fat, and it was just kind of, I was definitely a much different person coming out of those training camps with him. And now I know, what my limits are.
How hard are you on yourself?
I'm definitely the hardest critic. I'm pretty hard to please. I have a hard time saying that I did a good job at something. Working on that in therapy, though.
Has it helped?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, I'm still, I've a lot to work on, but I think after skiing, I think I've accepted that I have had success in my career. And even though it wasn't, the pinnacle of, I didn't beat the record, 4 wins shy of that, I still need to accept that I did something that no one else has done. And that's just, I don't know, it's weird. I still feel like a failure at times. There's always going to be a question because I didn't break the record. And I can't say that I have the most wins of anybody. And without being able to say that, I feel like I can't really say I'm the greatest. Whenever I won one thing, I wanted to win the next. And, it wasn't that I set out to do all these things, but I just kept wanting more and more and more, and nothing was ever really good enough. So to your point, yes, I don't really accept success, and again, therapy.
You said once before, all I've ever wanted to do is ski fast.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love going fast. I love pushing myself to the limit. I love the freedom of ski racing. There's no one out there judging you. It's not a contest. It's whoever's fastest from point A to point B wins. And skiing is just, it's very freeing and invigorating, and very difficult now that I don't have that, because that was always my outlet. And so I don't know, driving my car fast isn't really helping either. So trying to.
I understand you're known to do that too.
I had many trips with my mom where I had my driving permit, and I was doing the 18-hour drives. And I'm like, Mom, you drive too slow. You can't drive. I'm going to drive the whole way.
How about the fastest you've ever gone on skis?
In training, I was clocked at 84. but I think, it's probably around there, 85, 86, is top speed. If you're on the highway, stick your head out the window. Obviously not if you're driving, but stick your head out the window, and that's kind of how it feels, with the wind in your face when you're skiing down the mountain, and then jump out, and that'll feel like what it feels like for us when we crash.
How key is avoiding thinking about the danger element to it?
Even though I've been injured many times, I love it so much. There's nothing about it that frightens me. I love, like, the faster I go, the more fun I'm having. And crashing is just a part of our job. There's people that have been paralyzed, lost their legs. There's people that have died. Those are the risks that we take, and everyone knows that.